is like 4:30 a.m. I'm standing at the edge of a field next to a forest, and you might be asking yourself, why? Uh, so am I, to be honest. So I had a really interesting chat with an elderly lady yesterday that made me just think, okay, I'm going to try this out. So um, the heat and the pollen definitely, uh, definitely won the battle yesterday and knocked me out really, really early. So this kind of worked out pretty well. So uh, I was sitting outside my favorite cafe, having a cup of coffee and a cigarette, and this lady walked past, and I've seen her around a lot, and I had a couple of words with her in the past, but never really had a chat with her. And I love like just chatting to elderly people because they always have such interesting stuff. So she was asking me, oh, you from around here? I was like, well, pretty much. Like I pretty much grew up in the area. Um, she was like, oh, you living at home? I said, no, no, I actually live like about 5 minutes from where I grew up. And she was like, so I told her exactly where it was, and she was like, oh, geez, terribly interesting place that is. I was like, yeah, yeah, absolutely. I was like, and I'm a history nerd. So I was like, yeah, yeah. I was like, I love it. I love it because I'm always like discovering new things and blah, blah, blah. And so she was like, so you'll know about tomorrow then? I was like, no. I was like, not really. Why? What's tomorrow? And she was like, right, let me think about the place you live now. Down the back of it, well back behind the castle, there's a kind of a triangle shaped field with there's an ancient wall on one side and a forest and a river on the other. I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, so you've been there? She was like, oh yeah, absolutely. I was like, yeah, yeah, that's the place. I was like, that's actually the place she's talking about is like right here where I am. And it's actually the place that I come to quite a bit. Um, it's just so peaceful here. And, I do a bit of woodwork here and that kind of stuff. Anyway, oh God, my hay fever so bad though. I spent the whole day in the forest yesterday. And so, yeah, so she was like, she's like, have you ever heard of, I won't say the name, but a family anyway, local family, local ish. They're kind of like over that way somewhere. I was like, yeah, 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 I've heard of them. Yeah, I know a few of them like fairly decently well. And she was like, did you ever hear the history about them and where you live? And I was like, no, but I fucking really want to. So she was kind of explaining the layout of uh, the land, like the property that I live on. And like some of it I knew already, but not in the detail that she did. And she was explaining about the shapes, why all the fields on this property are pretty much triangular and all have these huge walls around them. And like the castle that's right behind my cottage, magnificent. Like it's a 12th century, maybe, would it be 12th? 12th or early 13th century medieval castle. It's beautiful, but it's not particularly big one for the area. It's there's other castles in this area. There's castles everywhere here, all across Munster. And sorry, I'm actually kind of cold now as well. It's actually a bit chilly. First time I've actually felt cold in a while, and it's actually kind of nice. Um, but yeah, it's a relatively small castle compared to all the ones in the area, but it most definitely has the most unbelievable defenses when you actually, you know, look beyond the ruins and realize what's actually there. So you have this, you know, I mean, it's a fucking castle, but like it's not a huge castle with like there's these massive walls. Hold on, flip this around. So these walls, they don't look all that big, but if you stand next to them, they're about maybe 15 feet tall, and some of them down further actually predate the castle by a fair amount of time. But then just past that is another set of even bigger walls. And then past that, there's this huge dugout ditch. And I was like, you know what? I never really gave it much thought as to why there's so much wall around a relatively, you know, kind of medium sized castle. She was like, well, you know that triangle shaped field? I was like, yeah, that was a village. I was like, wait, what? I was like, what do you mean? So the field that we're looking at right now is a village, was a village once upon a time. And she kind of described where everything was. So where I'm standing right now, there was actually once an enormous tree that was kind of like the center of the village. And yeah, so these walls were the defenses of that village essentially. But then she was explaining to me down further and she described what was there. And I was like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And she was like, right next to the river there. I was like, yep. So that was actually a Viking settlement. Um, so I guess 6th century maybe. Um, it's kind of hard to explain, but if you knew the layout of this area, you'd understand why they picked that spot. Because the natural defenses were quite good actually. So it got me thinking. I was like, I always thought the Viking settlement was back there, and she was like, no, that was much later. Blah blah. Anyway, point being, the family in particular, they have managed to trace their lineage back to the Vikings, and a good amount, a fairly high percentage of Irish people have some level of Viking blood or Viking DNA in them, naturally enough, because you had initially the actual early Vikings themselves came and raided all around here as well. There's still canals that are used every day that the Vikings cut into the land to get their warships up the river, easier or whatever. Um, and then of course you had the Normans came to Ireland, and I mean initially they invaded, but there was a saying in Ireland that they came to Ireland and became more Irish than the Irish, so they like very much integrated. So then, obviously, the Normans are descendants of Vikings, so that was the next wave of Viking blood. Um, but this family can literally trace their line back to specific people, specific Viking leaders, and stuff like that. Anyway, we're finally getting to why I'm standing here at 4:30 a.m. There was an observance, I suppose, that family used to do right here, but none of them do it anymore, apparently. Um, the few older people that actually still do it, they do it at home. So I guess it's not the same thing. Apparently, there was a curse, and she wasn't sure if it was put on the family or the land, that somebody with Viking blood, I suppose, I don't know if she was just saying that part or not, needs to look on the land as the sun comes up. Otherwise, I don't know, bad shit happens or whatever. So I was like, well, I'm not going to take any chances because this time last year, I crashed my fucking motorbike into a stone wall and it changed my life forever. So it's like, I'm not taking any chances. So anyway, got into bed early last night because I was just ruined from the heat. It was so hot yesterday. And you can probably hear I'm so nasally. My throat is fucking killing me. Oh, what was that? Neighbor over there is peacocks. I think that's what that was. So I was like, I'm not taking any chances. I'm gonna fucking come out here at 4 a.m. and watch the sun come. Actually, I was like, yeah, I'll go out. And so I was telling her, I was like, yeah, well, look, I'm not taking any chances. I'll go out at sunrise and keep an eye on the land, keep the fucking bad spirits away or whatever it is. She's like, but do you have Viking blood in you? And I was like, I actually do. That's relatively small percentage. I have more Indian blood, as in from India, than Viking blood, and that's quite small. But I have enough to cover the curse, I suppose. Um, no, I just thought it'd be interesting because I realized I've actually never been out here in the land when the sun's coming up. I've often been at home when the sun's come up, but it's I don't know. I think I had it in my head that it was going to be like, oh wow, I feel amazing. The sun's coming up and it's a bit chilly, and I'm wearing cut sleeves and just want to feel it. I'm like, "No, okay, no, I'm actually like a little bit cold and my hay fever's killing me. A little bit tired. My ankle hurts from being in the forest yesterday all day, and I kind of want a cup of coffee and a warm blanket and go back to sleep. But I just thought it'd be a nice thing to do. I just thought it'd be fun because she was so passionate about it. I was like, "So are you like coming out to the land to do it?" She's like, "Oh, geez, no, I'm too old for that." I was like, "For fuck's sakes!" She could have just made all this up, and she's probably at home and like, fucking idiots out there standing in cold compared to what we've had for the past few days. But but you know what? It's a bit of fun anyway. It's so pretty. Um, and yeah, I guess it like I come down here like pretty much every day. It's a really cool spot because there's loads of like natural cover, and Um, yeah, I really like it here, and actually, it's probably the best place on the property to watch all the wildlife because you have this like natural cover here, so they can't see you, you can see them. And there's incredible wildlife specifically in this part of the property. Um, the biggest foxes I've ever fucking seen in my life, as evidenced by the massive fox poop. Millions of rabbits. Um, the cooler, kind of rarer things I've seen down around this area, and I think a lot of it is because the water's right there, and there's like extremely thick forestry over there, so it's very safe for the wildlife. But I guess the stranger things I've seen down here, pine martens, which are really, really rare. They're like what are they like? I guess they're kind of like a small kind of weasel stoat type thing, and it is very like it's very unusual to see them. And I saw two of them at the same time, two juvenile ones, really cool. And they kind of just stopped and looked at me. They didn't run away because they had no idea what I was. And frankly, I didn't know what they were either. I thought they were fucking ferrets or something. But they were cute, man. They were super cute. What else do I see down here? Otters, a lot of otters, because there's um, like a deep stony pool over there with a lot of tree cover. So it's like otter heaven, really. Badgers over kind of this way, very low, very thick brush kind of land, so perfect for badgers. And then the really tall trees in the back it's literally just buzzards and hawks. So you see them flying around quite a lot, and you could hear them screaming and stuff. It's actually pretty cool. And as you can tell, it's all you can hear here is nature and me at the minute. Because there's no like major road or anything, and we don't actually really have any aircraft flyovers or anything, so it's extremely peaceful here, and it's just perfect for the wildlife. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Is this considered the sun being up enough that I can fucking go back to my warm house, or I don't know, man. Don't want to chance it. Okay, what other? I'm actually just trying to keep myself warm by talking right now. What other cool wildlife do I see down here? Um, there's no deer down this far. Up a bit further up the hills, or you'd find some, but pheasants, lots of pheasants here. They're really cool. I like them. Red squirrels, a lot of red squirrels in there because there's a lot of hazel trees in there and a lot of oak trees as well. So rare squirrels are kind of dying. Red squirrels are kind of dying out in Ireland because of the grey squirrels, but there's quite a few down here though. They're a pretty healthy population down here. And then the birds. The birds is probably the best part. Like owls, we have a lot of different owls, hawks, buzzards, loads of beautiful songbirds. Yeah. So it is pretty cool to be able to come down here and see those just in, the most natural habitat that they could pretty much have in this area, to be honest. Like the forest you see here, most of the forest in Ireland is like cultivated forests, pine forests and stuff, planted forests. This goes back, so like maybe 50 or 60 feet behind these trees, there's the stream. And then the other side of the stream, the forest continues for a lot, actually. It's quite big. And then it continues all the way down there for probably a mile and a half, 2 miles. Basically, it takes me about 3 hours. Yeah, about 3 hours if I'm going from one end of the forest all the way down to the end. That takes me about 3 hours because it's quite dense. Um, and what I love about it is it is 100% natural wild forest. There's no governance over it, like there is with the planted forests, where they go in and they do certain things throughout the year, cut downs and all that. There's none of that here. There is certain things that we do. We'll take out a lot of like deadfall or like dangerous trees. What else? Infected trees as well. Like if there's really badly infected trees, we'll take those out. And it's really fun and it's great exercise and we have a good laugh doing it. And we always like, we get cool stuff out of it, like cool pieces of wood to make things and whatnot. I make a lot of walking sticks and stuff like that. Because again, it's mostly hardwood in there, hazel, ash. Um, there's some. What else is in there? Hazel and ash would be kind of the main ones. There's a lot of pine, like natural pine, not the fucking horrible planted stuff. Um, Loads of beautiful wildflowers in there. It's really cool. It is a really, really cool forest. I'm gonna get some video in there. I actually might get some in there today. Because we're doing a little bit in there as well today. There's a really old building right here. I can't remember what it is. I think it's a very late medieval water mill. I think I saw a big, huge mill wheel in there. You can just about make it out there. That's the roof of it, but it actually goes way down into the bank of the river, obviously, and it's fucking huge in there. But there's one big tree. You can't actually see it from this angle, but there's one big tree behind these ones. It is enormous. Actually, you might be able to see it's kind of right there, and it's been dead for like I don't know, like 30 or 40 years, but it's rooted up now, and it's like about to crash down on top of the building. Obviously the building's a ruin anyway, so it's not a big deal, but it'd just be nice for it to not get destroyed, I suppose. Trying to think what else is really cool around here. We've got a lot of blackthorns. Look how puffy my fucking hair is from the humidity. We have a lot of blackthorn trees, aka fairy trees. So yeah, you don't fuck with them. Blackthorns, white thorns, you don't mess with those. It's illegal to anyway. You can't really fuck with them. Like they will literally build a highway around like one tree. They've done it a few times. Because it's culturally significant. Oh. Most modern Irish people will tell you the same thing. You ask them, "Do you believe in fairies?" And just because a lot of people have said it to me before, "Oh, the pheasants are going fucking crazy over there." Oh, do you believe in the fae folk? We don't call it that. We don't call it the fae folk. We don't call them the little people or the wee men or any of that bollocks. Just fairies. They're just fairies. Leprechauns. We don't even use that term really. Just fairies. You don't fuck with a fairy fort. You don't fuck with a blackthorn. Um, you don't walk in between two white thorns or some shit like that. I can't remember the exact specifics. But anyway, you ask any Irish person, do you believe in fairies? Of course I don't. That's only an old pishog. Uh, and then you ask them, would you cut down a blackthorn? I wouldn't, my bollocks, because they're not going to risk it. Um, I don't know if you guys can actually hear the pheasants there, the male pheasants going fucking nuts. They're so dumb as well. They're fucking so stupid. The amount of times I've literally had to stop my car in the driveway, I'm like, come on, fucking move. But they're beautiful, beautiful birds though. Incredibly dumb. There's actually is that a blackthorn or a white thorn? Oh no, that's a hawthorn tree right there. And it is literally slowly demolishing that wall. Oh no, I think it is a blackthorn actually. It's slowly demolishing that wall. It is going to knock that wall over onto the driveway at some point. One, I'm not cutting it down. Nobody's cutting that fucking thing down. That's its wall now. Tough shit. That's what you get from building your. I just realised I'm facing the wrong way. The fucking sun comes up that side. I suppose it doesn't matter. Um, what else is cool? I gotta bring you guys for a tour of it. I think it'd be actually really cool to do because, like, it's only, believe it or not, like nearly a year on. It's only kind of in the last maybe 2 months or so that I actually felt confident enough on my feet to go back into the forest, and I'm so happy I did. I love it. I love the forest. Um, Mind you, the forest is kicking my ass at the moment. I will say that much. I feel really fit though because of it. I gotta say, because yeah, it's pretty full on, but I love it. But it is kind of it's causing a few twinges in the ankle, and the fucking hay fever from there. It's killer. But it's all worth it though. It's worth to be out in that is just beautiful. Like, and we're helping it as well by doing the little things we do. There's certain we tend to not cut down live trees unless they're invasive or potentially could cause damage to some of the bigger trees. Because there's some of the trees that are fucking 500-600 years old, but they're not particularly tall. They're just incredibly wide. There's a couple of like types of sycamore down there that there's maybe 5 or 6 of them left in the country. So we're kind of like we're clearing stuff around them a bit, younger trees around them because we just don't want them to get damaged, especially by invasive trees. That'd be such a shame. Like nobody planted those invasive trees there. Just bird eats a seed over there in an orchard or something, and poops over there. And next thing you've got a you know Eurasian elm or something. Like it's just the way it goes. Um, yeah. So trying to preserve it because natural forestry in Ireland is it's slowly but surely just dying out. There's only I read it recently. I was like, that can't be fucking right. There's only like 2% of our natural what's the word I'm looking for? The opposite of invasive. Oh my god, what is the word I'm looking? I'm actually still so tired. Like, I know I am. I shouldn't be awake right now. And even when I woke up, when my alarm went off, I was like, oh fuck, I don't want to crash into a wall again. I better do it. And I don't believe in that kind of thing, but I just thought, you know, I was like, when's the last time I stood out in a beautiful field listening to the birds as the sun came up? Quite a while ago. I was like, fuck it, why not? It's not gonna hurt. I'm off today and tomorrow anyway, so and I've got no plans. So, well, I do have some kind of heavy shit that I got to do in there, but yeah, it'd be a bit of fun anyway. But I don't know. I think that's pretty much sum up now, right? Natural forestry isn't quite what I was. I'm like, what is the opposite of invasive? Native. Jesus, how did I not? Anyway, because like I spend a lot of time in the forest. I always kind of have. I love the forest, but I started to realize like I'd look at a tree and be like, oh, that's really cool looking, gnarly looking tree. What is it? Like, why do I not know that? Like, surely I should kind of look into it because I suppose it didn't really matter, but now it kind of does because I kind of need to know what they are. Like, nobody's asked me, not that nobody's asked me to do it. There's a few of us that do it together. We're not getting paid for it or anything like that. It's just something we do because the forest is so beautiful. We love it, and yeah, it's very precious. But yeah, I read recently. I think oh, I might be wrong. That it was like literally 2% of the forestry in Ireland is native and natural. There's about another 2% that's planted native, which is still awesome. Like I think that's great. And I think the reason is it's just not got a lot of value commercially because I mean there's some incredibly valuable trees in there that like the timber from it will be worth a lot, but it's just so hard to extract and illegal to anyway. So no, you wouldn't get off this land with much of a tree. I can tell you that much. Um, Nobody would even know how to get to this anyway. But there is still a lot of timber poaching in Ireland. Like it still does happen a lot. Um, there's a few particular types of trees in there that would be like prime target for timber poachers. But nobody would ever know that they're there anyway. It's too far away from everything. It's not something that you can see from the road, or you know what I mean. But yeah. The other interesting thing about it is as well, the only bit of governance around this particular forest, technically, because we have the permission of the landowner, and he does this kind of project with us. We could literally go in there and cut down every tree and sell them if we wanted to, because he owns them. They're his on his land. They're not. There's maybe a couple of trees that are maybe legally protected, but I think his right to cut them down actually supersedes it. But there's no way in hell that he would or let anybody do it. But the only governing thing that we have over it is about wildlife protection, and I think that would happen anyway because we are fairly passionate about it. But um, the the big one is, and it can be a bit of a fucking pain at times, is we are not allowed to use any rat poison at all anywhere on the farm, which can be a little bit tricky at times, especially considering most of the buildings are fucking hundreds of years old. And so now, thankfully, touch wood, we don't have a rat problem. And they don't go anywhere near the houses or anything. So, but when you do see them, mother of fucking god, are they big? I mean, they're monsters. Um, so the only way we can control them really is trapping. We don't bother because you only kind of catch them one at a time. Shooting, and fucking, you nearly need a grenade launcher to take down some of these fuckers. And dogs. Dogs is the other one. I think they haven't been as much of a problem in the past year or so because we've just had this explosion in the population of foxes, and they seem to have a taste for rats. I suppose they're big, juicy, fucking slow rats. So But the reason we're not allowed to use poison to get rid of the rats is because in, I think it's these ones, these trees. I'm barely sure. So there's actually ravens in this one. No, it's not. Sorry, it's actually one of the taller ones over there. I think that's the one that had a few owls in it. Um, there is uh quite a few buzzard nests over there. Um, what are the other ones? Oh yeah, there's other massive, really really tall dead trees right back here. And there's another. I actually don't even know what species they are, but there's another type of owl. Like all birds of prey are protected in Ireland anyway, but some of them are like really protected. Like bring your toothbrush to court if you kill one, kind of protected. They're that strict about it, and that includes like, as I said, poisoning. Because poison a rat, owl eats the rat. Good chance the owl's going to get sick or die, so we don't want that. But mind you, at times you, especially like coming up to the winter when the rats are particularly active, you'll be kind of like, oh, I'd love to put a bucket of bait out there and fuck these guys up, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's I suppose like this was in some respects completely fucking pointless because, as I said, I don't believe in this very localized tradition for like one family that used to live here centuries ago. But I just thought it'd be interesting to do because it's just one of those cool, kind of quirky, unusual things that you have in Ireland. There's things like this all over the country. You go to some random village up the west coast and like, oh, tomorrow's fucking whatever day. Like, the fuck is that? Like, and then it's just some bizarre fucking story, which has resulted in people doing weird shit like fucking 500 years later. Like, there's one, I can't remember where it was. It was in County Galway anyway, some small village, just like a few people do it. They just, once a year, they wear some kind of hat. It's so hard to describe. It's not quite a medieval hat. I don't know what the fuck it is. They wear it upside down all day. I can't remember why or fucking whatever, but it's just something they do. And if you go to that village on a certain day of the year, they're fucking wearing the hats upside down. And literally nobody else anywhere else in probably the fucking world does stuff like that. So that's the cool thing about Ireland, though, because it's such a tiny nation and we're all very connected culturally, generally. Like mostly the Celtic and Gaelic culture is kind of the predominant cultural thing in Ireland, but all of these little kingdoms that were here, they were completely isolated from each other because this country was completely covered in forestry. And it was hard to travel from place to place. So people didn't really interact with a whole lot of other people, except for maybe in battle. That was about it. And like, so yeah, it is kind of cool that these little pockets of unusual things, like there was so many of these little observances that people had or beliefs or superstitions that one day just vanished. A couple of 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago. But then there's just these little few that just kind of just squeeze their way into the modern day, and I just think that's so cool. Oh, what's that? I thought that was a pine marten. It was a bird. Bollocks. That would have been cool actually to catch a pine marten live. They're so rare. Um. Okay, I'm gonna call it now. I can see the grass and stuff, so the sun is up, right? You know what I mean? It's safe for me to ride a motorcycle again. I know. I just thought this would be kind of cool to do anyway. So yeah, fucking wild Saturday for me. I know, but it's been great to get out in nature and just to do, these kind of these little things from time to time. It's just why not? You know what I mean? It's probably never do it again because it's kind of a bit cold and whatever. But it's all these little unusual things about places like this that I just love. I really just love things like this. And what I love about this property is it changes every single day. Um, it's got a kind of an ecosystem all of its own. It's in a very particular place where we get a certain kind of climate, and it is really really cool. And like I could walk back down the same path. this exact time tomorrow morning, and there'll be like, flowers there that weren't there yesterday, or a whole heap of different things. It's really cool. So it's been a relief, I suppose, to feel physically well enough to be able to get back outside and surrounded by nature, and that's really, yeah, it's refreshing. It really is. Um, and because it's like I mean, look, obviously this is a cultivated field, right? Like, there's usually this field is kind of reserved for calves. There's usually just baby cows in here. Um, but other than that, well, I suppose this would have always been kind of flat because there was literally a little village here. And I was walking around the field earlier because she told me, I was like, I gotta go check this shit out. And there is actually very clear evidence that there was little buildings, little stone buildings over there. You just scratch down a little bit and you're kind of getting down to clearly intentionally cut stone. So that was really, really cool. I can only imagine what else is under there. But like those walls, those walls existed before. I'm just trying to think what year they would have been built. They're, I think she said, yeah, they're definitely pre-Norman, but not by much, because it was really the Normans that did a lot of the stone building in Ireland. Before that, it was mostly wood. But I think she said they were pre-Norman, or maybe they were just early Norman. I'm not really sure. I think there's a way of telling by how the stones are cut or something like that. But in any event, like that is completely unchanged for a whole millennium, you know? And while obviously this forest changes every single day, it's the same forest that was there when these people were here. Probably looks totally different now, obviously, because, trees die, new ones grow. And yeah, I just think that's really, really cool. And I often think about like right here, right? So this little sapling here, I don't know what that is actually. I think it's an elm. I'm not really 100% sure. And like, I mean, that could blow over and die tomorrow, no big deal. Or somebody could be standing right here in 200 years and it's fucking, 300 foot tall. It's just, yeah, anyway. I am severely overtired. Because even though I slept last night, it wasn't really sleep. You don't really sleep so good when you can't breathe. Um, so I think, and now is the difficult choice. Do I go back and go back to sleep for a little while? Or do I just power through and have this? I was assured that I would have this refreshing, powerful feeling and I'd be ready for the day and it'd be like drinking 10 cups of coffee. And I'm like, fuck, no, it's not. It's cold, a bit chilly, and things keep biting me. And I can't breathe through this nostril. And my throat feels like I swallowed sandpaper. Uh, I think maybe that lady was trolling me, possibly. Like, I've never heard that story before. But I know one guy that I can ask, and if it's true, he'll know. Like he's every like village has that guy. Um, yeah. If anyone's gonna know, it's him, basically. But like the crazy thing is, it's what 5 a.m. now. Um, I've got to be up and I've got to be awake, and actually, I got to be at the other side of the forest by 7:30 anyway, because we got to do a few things before it gets hot, because it will get really hot. And even if the wind is blowing and stuff in there, it's so humid in there. Um, and then the flies just go on a rampage, and you just gotta leave. There's nothing you can do about it. They're fucking overwhelming, like it's crazy. But it's great because it shows the health of the forest, you know. Uh, the fucking bees. It's a relief to see bees back around, but oh man, I haven't been stung. Touch wood. I fucking hope I don't, because I'm mildly allergic to them. I don't get the full on fucking thing, but yeah, it's not nice. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to power through. Go home, have a coffee, take the dogs out for a stroll, and kind of wake myself up that way. But I've got a feeling I'll be power napping midday when it gets really hot. Um. Anyway, guys, look, random as fuck. I wasn't even planning on doing a live. I wasn't even planning on taking my phone down. Uh, but then I was just like, yeah, I often talk about what it's like out here, but I've never really shown people what it's like. So yeah, there you go. And like that's just one thing. This place is so cool. There's so much cool shit from all different like eras as well, which I think is awesome. Like there's a what you call it? There's an Elizabethan garden and orchard, and then there's a Victorian garden, which is really really cool actually. There's a literal bamboo forest. Some the Victorians are obsessed with bamboo and like unusual stuff from the Orient. So there's some cool like grass species and stuff around. Oh, there's a pheasant over there. 2 seconds. She's just in the high grass. Oh, I don't know if you guys will be able to see her. Maybe. There she is, look. Oh wait, hold on. I think that's actually that looks like a bird of prey, maybe. Of course I don't have my glasses on, so I can't really see for sure. What you guys reckon? I think that could be a young buzzard. Okay. I don't know what that is. I don't know, buzzards usually leave out a couple of screams when they're landing though, so mind you I can't see shit without my glasses in this light, so that could be a fucking elephant. Oh, it's definitely not a tree stump anyway. Oh yeah, no, its head is moving, so it's definitely an animal. Just don't know what type. Hmm. See where I'm standing right now is perfect because it pretty much can't see me. Something fucking moved behind me. That's oh, fucking behind me. Ooh. Maybe a bird actually. It's probably a bird. Oh shit, where's it gone? I don't know, guys. What do you reckon? No, I don't think it's a cat. No, it's definitely not a cat. See, I'm kind of seeing it at a slightly different angle to you guys. No, I'm trying to think. What bird of prey would sit in the grass like that? Am I literally just fucking seeing things here? Hold on, I'll get a different angle. Because that could be a bit of pareidolia now too, because literally, I don't know where my glasses are. Oh no, I can't see it behind the little tuft of grass there. Oh yeah, no, just fell off. What was that? Oh yeah, it was a buzzard. Oh, cool. Whew. Oh, okay. I fucking I hate finding plastic places like this. Fuck's sake. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go have a shower, get the pollen off me for a while, and have a cup of coffee. I think I'm gonna have to power through, guys. But I'll have a pretty early day, I think, because it's supposed to get super hot today. So anyway, guys, look, I hope you enjoyed that. I did. I actually did enjoy it. It was pretty cool. Again, I will not be doing this again anytime soon because aside from being completely pointless, I just thought it was cool that like this thing that people used to do, fucking for whatever reason. I was like, I'll just carry it on for a little while. Probably last time, to be fair. Excuse me. Oh man, this hay fever is fucking killing me. It's actually been okay for the last few days. Oh, it just flew past up there again. But yeah, I think yesterday got me big time. A lot of wildflowers. Oh, maybe it is a little red squirrel. Hardly though, not in that tree. That's buckthorn tree. Yeah, no, you wouldn't get squirrels in there. Probably a rat. Fuck it. Anyway, guys, good. I was gonna say good night. Feels like a good morning. Yeah, I need a coffee now. In fairness, I intentionally didn't have one before coming out because I was like, I get back into bed, it'll be grand. Not grand. Uh, yeah. Anyway, folks, have a great day. yeah, no, I'm cold as shit now, so I'm gonna go get a hoodie and have a coffee and take the dogs out for a stroll and start my day. At least I'm off anyway for a couple of days, so if I need to pan out halfway through the day, not a big deal. We'll catch you all later, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Weird as fuck, random as fuck, but interesting anyway, if nothing else. But I'll, once I have a bit more time, because my schedule is pretty fucking hefty at the minute. Um, but yeah, as I've got a bit more time, I'll probably only do it in lives, to be honest, because putting it up as like videos, obviously, it's not necessarily something that would appeal to the viewers that I have that watch like the kind of things I cover. But it doesn't really matter if it's on a live. Um, we have a lot of really cool plans though for some of the conservation stuff in there. We don't do restoration like with the buildings because we think they should just be as they are, but we do try to protect them. Um, yeah, no, it might be cool. I might do like a separate channel just for that stuff, just for the interest of it more than anything. Ah, right, I gotta go put more, I don't know why I wore a fucking cut off top. That was incredibly stupid, but yeah, anyway, gotta go get a coffee, take the doggos out, and I will see you guys again soon. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoy that random fucking history lesson. I don't know if you could call it history. But anyway, take care, folks. Have a great day. And how the fuck do I turn this off? Oh yeah, catch you soon enough ish.